What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel, and in today's WWE news video, there's actually quite a bit to talk about, because in this video I'm going to be talking about potentially new stages for Raw and SmackDown. 8 NXT talent has been released, and also the extent of the Miz's injuries from WrestleMania BACKLASH. So let's actually talk about the reported new stages, apparently. So obviously we know that when it comes to Raw, SmackDown, the pay-per-views and whatnot, the setup, the set is always where it draws the attention of viewers, and also the fans coming in to the shows. Apparently with this one, it's kind of interesting because obviously we've been used to the whole Thunderdome setup when it began last summer, and there may have been a few tweaks during each of the different moves, from the Amway Center to Tropicana Field to the campus of the University of South Florida. Apparently, the sets are going to be a little different. But nobody knows what the stage setups are going to be like. Nobody knows. However, we do know that that as far as like the touring, the WWE going back on tour, having fans come back in. Apparently, it was said to have started on between the days of July 16th to the 19th, and apparently it's going to be closer and closer to SummerSlam. So we don't really know exactly, when we're gonna, we'll have, fans back in. But I think when fans do come back, it's gonna be a little bit weird to. It's gonna be weird to get used to, because hang on, guys. All right, there we go. My laptop is being stupid again. I don't know why. But once fans do start to come back, there's no doubt it's gonna be so weird. It's gonna be so weird, because we've been so used to, over the last year we've been used to having no fans at all, and we've also been used to having, trainees, from the PC, from the Performance Center, come in and watch the show, watch Raw and SmackDown and 205 Live for a little bit, and then of course also the pay-per-views as well, and even also NXT and NXT TakeOver, even with having no fans show up to NXT UK. It's been super cringy. So I'm very curious as to how what what the stages are going to be like. I'm very curious, but honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing what the new sets are going to be like. Are going to be like. Excuse me. And I mean, who knows? Maybe maybe the new sets are gonna be like different compared to what we've been used to for the last what we've been used to in back in 2019, like close to the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020. I mean, don't get me wrong, those stages were really cool, but personally, I kind of wanted to see, for Smack, I kind of wanted to see, the big fist and whatnot, but again, only time will tell as to what the stages are going to be like. Excuse me, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. Alright, you guys, now, yeah, so WWE has released not 1, not 2, but 8 people that were on NXT. And it's kind of interesting because one of them had a lot to deal with. Had a lot to deal with. Apparently there were a lot of people who were uncomfortable being around him. But those who got released were Alexander Wolf, Jessamine Duke, Vanessa Bourne, Ezra Judge, Kavita Devi, Skylar Story, and NXT referees Drake Wirtz and Jake Clemens. It's interesting. Excuse me. It's interesting because there were a lot of reports, saying that Drake was I guess quite the political type, was the political type of guy, but there were also a lot of reports that he was missing, and that he had missed an episode of NXT earlier this month. So it made so it made things a little more different, a little weird for NXT. But apparently he had missed that episode, so we could do like a virtual school board meeting, I guess, where he argued about the face masks and whatnot. There was a lot of crazy shit with him. But honestly, this doesn't really surprise me. As far as everyone else, obviously we all know Alexander Wolf was a part of Imperium for quite a while, actually, for a little over a couple years. So with him now out of the picture, there's no telling what will happen to Imperium. Excuse me. Moving forward, as far as this Jake Clemens guy, I think he was one of the guys that I think he was the guy who I guess portrayed as one of Seth Rollins' disciples from what was it, last year, if I remember right. Skylar Story, if you guys don't know who she is, she was known as Brandy Lauren on in the promotion Evolve. If you guys remember Evolve, she had battled Shotzi Blackheart in that no DQ match. In fact, I think I still have that card, don't I? I think I still have that card from the 10th anniversary show that they did. If I can find it. It was in one of my little books here. One of my notebooks. Here we are. Yeah, so here's the card right here. I know that the camera didn't do it justice, but the Evolve 10th anniversary show had Josh Briggs versus Anthony Green, which ended with Josh Briggs picking up a victory using a chokeslam powerbomb. Then we had Sean Maluda versus Kurt Stallion versus Stephen Wharf versus Harlem Bravado, which ended with Stephen Wolf picking up a victory over Bravado with a shooting star, and then we had Arturo Ruas versus Anthony Henry, which ended with Ruas picking up a pin over Henry with a spin kick. Brandy Lauren against Scout Story versus Shotzi Blackheart in a no DQ, which ended obviously with Brandy Lauren picking up a victory over Blackheart with the help of Anthony Green. Colby Carino versus Baba Tunde, which I guess now Commander Aziz. Baba Tunde picked up the victory with a massive splash. Fox and Ruff, or I guess Leon Ruff, I guess, versus the Unwanted Sons. Fox and Ruff picked up the victory to become new tag team champions. Then we had Riddle versus Drew Gulak. Riddle picked up a victory over Gulak using the bro Derek. Then we had Austin Theory versus JD Drake, which was a champion versus champion, title for title for the Evolve Championship and the WWN Championship. Theory picked up the victory with picked up a victory over JD Drake, and then the main event for that card was Akira Tozawa versus Adam Cole for the NXT title. Kind of interesting that the NXT Championship was defended. This was actually the first time that I saw the NXT title defend at an Evolve show. Adam Cole picked up a victory with the last shot. Especially we had Paul Heyman and Johnny Gargano show up. But yeah, so Scout Story was known as Brandy Lauren. In Evolve. Kavita Devi was a part of not only was she a part of both Mae Young Classics, but was also a part of the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, the first one back in 2018. Vanessa Borne was a part of NXT for quite a while actually. Ezra Judge, I don't know anything about him. Ezra Judge. If you guys know anything about Ezra Judge, let me know in the comments below because I have no clue. But Jessamine Duke, we all know who she is, part of the famed Four Horsewomen of MMA. This is kind of interesting because when you think about it, she's been a staple to Up Down Down. Not don't want to get copyrighted. You know how this works. Don't want to get copyrighted, but I'm just giving a shout out. But on Xavier Woods' YouTube channel, Up Down Down, she was a massive staple. She had her own faction. BRE Start. So as far as what will happen to her on Up Down Down, that remains to be seen. We don't really know. But Jessamine Duke, they didn't really use her that much. I know that they used her and Maria Shafir when Shayna Baszler was still in NXT, but with her now on Raw, there's no. I mean, it's pretty much done. Her career was pretty much done. But honestly, But as far as that Drake guy, I'm not too surprised. But it's kind of an interesting thing to hear. But yeah. But anyway, guys, The Miz is injured. Yeah. He's injured. I can't say that I'm surprised because for years now, for the last several years, he's always said, oh, I've never been injured, blah, 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 blah. As far as what the injury is, he had torn his ACL at WrestleMania Backlash, where he went up against Damian Priest. So it could either be a full tear or a partial tear, and if it's a full tear, it could be he'll be out of action from 6 to 9 months, or longer, depending on the circumstance. It's kind of funny because if you guys remember, if you guys remember that lumberjack match involving zombies, the zombies had featured having featured the zombies from the new movie Army of the Dead. Now, yeah, that's how it happened. I don't know how he tore his ACL, but apparently there's been reports saying that nobody in the locker room was watching that match, and apparently yeah, it's not much to say about that, but this is actually The Miz's first injury of his entire career, which is 18 years, close to 20 years. 20 years, crazy enough. It's interesting because, as The Miz has said, he's never gotten injured. He's always been, he's always showed up to work, and had done his own thing. He's right. He has never gotten injured. He had maybe had a couple of, maybe a sprain or two, but that's about it. This is his first major injury. In his entire career, and it's interesting because The Miz has accomplished quite a bit, actually. He's a 2-time WWE champion. He's an 8-time Intercontinental champion. He's a 7-time tag team champion, if I remember correctly, across multiple people. He's a former multi-time United States champion. He's a 2-time Money in the Bank winner. He's got his own show, Miz and Mrs., which is on the USA Network again. Don't want to get copyrighted. Y'all know how this works. Not only that, but he also has the Marine franchise, or I guess he finished up the Marine franchise, which started with John Cena doing the first one, and then I think Randy Orton doing, and then Ted DiBiase Jr. doing the second one, and then Randy Orton doing the third one. But honestly, it's hard to. It's always hard to know that. It's always hard to know that an injury like that could really like destroy your career, especially if you're a high flyer, or you use your feet a lot like Miz does. It's absolutely crazy. So as far as we know, apparently Miz has gotten, from what I heard, I don't know if the rumors are true, but he's currently getting his ACL tested to make sure that it's not like too serious. So but obviously there will be more like to more info on the injuries, possibly on social media. So, but only time will tell. But guys, that is gonna do it for this video. Question of the day: What are you guys expecting to see when? Or you know what? I have a better idea. Since we're getting close, since we're actually getting close to SummerSlam, what match do you want to see at SummerSlam this year? Let me know in the comments below. That is the question of the day, and that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button if you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE news videos, which gets posted every Thursday. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow, and be sure to check me out on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have fan mail you want to send me, want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.